evening, everybody, and welcome to my channel, Keeping It Real with Shay. For those of you who aren't subscribed yet, kindly please subscribe, smash that thumbs up button, and comment on any of my videos. And of course, click the notification bell upon subscribing so you will be up to date on my upcoming live chat sessions and most recent vlogs and of course uploaded videos. So happy Friday to everybody. We are of course live and back to regular scheduling. We did have a special show earlier this week. And I'm going to get into that in just a bit as to why another show this week. So I want to welcome, of course, our viewers and my new subscribers. Thank you so much for supporting Keeping It Real with Shay, and to the existing subscribers, thank you so much for continuing to support Keeping It Real with Shay, and of course my live shows. Any updates? Well, I do actually want to let you guys know that on June 4th, it will be Keeping It Real with Shay's first anniversary. So we are starting season 2, guys. How exciting! So, of course, it's going to be a great live on June the 4th, and of course, regular time 8 p.m. And I'll keep you guys posted on what's going to happen on that day because I do want to give away some prizes. And I'm hoping that I can come up with a great prize or a few prizes from some of our guests from, of course, this season, season 1. I can't believe we're going to do a Keeping It Real with Shay season 2. Very, very, very exciting. And of course, it wouldn't have been possible without all of you who continue to support Keeping It Real with Shay. I do want to say hi to Happy Gamers Canada. Thank you so much for tuning in. And I know that, it's a Friday night. It's probably nice outside. And, you're still here watching Keeping It Real with Shay. So thank you so much. That's really it for updates. But again, keep a lookout and stay tuned for that big, big launch of season 2 here on Keeping It Real with Shay. Very, very exciting. And guys, I want to keep an open communication with my viewers and subscribers. If you guys have any suggestions or, any suggestions on content that you want to see here on Keeping It Real with Shay, please let me know. Send me a message on any of my social media platforms, which is posted under the About tab on Keeping It Real with Shay's main page. You guys can connect with me either on through Facebook or Instagram. So I would love to hear from you guys in terms of suggestions for content, and just want to hear how you feel Keeping Real with Shay did on their first season. So I'm not going to, talk too much right now because I want to get down to what we're going to discuss today. So last Tuesday, we touched on mental health in children. And, it being Mental Health Awareness Week in the US, I thought it would be a great idea to just touch on mental health this week. And so tonight we will be discussing some techniques on how to cope with stress and also how to control our mental health, especially during this pandemic. I have some stats here which are alarming. According to Statistics Canada, the survey on COVID-19 and mental health indicate that about 1 in 5 Canadian adults aged 18 and older screened positive for at least one of 3 mental disorders that were assessed. So that's about 21% of Canadians. Major depressive disorder, generalized anxiety disorder, and post-traumatic stress disorder. This survey was developed by Statistics Canada in collaboration with the Public Health Agency of Canada to better understand the mental health of Canadian adults in the context of the pandemic. So data released today were controlled from September to December 2020. So I will make reference to this in the description below. So make sure you guys, follow up on that if you want resources. Another information here, according to www.helpguide.org, effective stress management helps you break the hold stress has on your life, so you can be happier, healthier, and more productive. The ultimate goal is a balanced life with time for work, relationships, relaxation, and fun, and the resilience to hold up under pressure and meet challenges head on. But stress management is not one size fits all. That's why it's important to experiment and find out what works for you. So my guest tonight will show us ways to better cope and manage stress. Sorry, guys. So Nikki is a new mom and mental health advocate. She specializes in helping moms feel their best through pregnancy and postpartum with holistic nutrition, movement, and energy. She is currently a fitness coach at F45 and is finishing up her holistic nutrition certification. Nikki also has a group program for moms and moms-to-be who want to live more of a holistic motherhood. So she has been on Keeping It Real with Shay a few times, and I'm so happy to have her back. So please welcome my cousin, Nikki D. Ocampo. Hi, Nikki.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, thank you.
How has your week been?
It has been very busy, and I thought it would be more of a relaxed week, but it ended up being the opposite.
Oh no, really?
Yeah, but that's okay.
Yeah, but you know what? It's Friday, and that's always good, right?
Yeah, I definitely look forward to relaxing this weekend.
Yes, and I know that it's going to be actually good weather here in Toronto.
Oh, I know. For the next week, it's like 20 degrees, so that's nice.
Yeah, it's going to be nice. It's going to be nice. And how's the family?
Good. Everyone's good. Mia is a little troublemaker, and her vocabulary is getting very well. I don't know how it happens, but she surprises me every day.
That is so, you know what? She's already 2, right? So she's in that toddler stage.
Yeah.
How's that going?
It's good. I feel like she's just learning new things every day. Just she's in like discovery mode, I guess. And she's starting to make a lot of jokes, so it's really fun, to be honest. I'm loving it.
That's good. I'm glad. And you should enjoy it because you know what? When they get older, they grow up so fast, right? So enjoy it while it lasts.
Yes.
So, do you have your signs ready?
I do.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so of course, every guest on Keeping It Real with Shay does our version of Never Have I Ever. So I am going to, and what I did was because Christina and we're all cousins. I want to see what your answers are compared to hers. So
Okay.
I just shuffled the questions around, and I want to see because I know that you guys are very close. I want to see if you guys were like tag teaming some of these schemes that are on this Never Have I Ever. Okay.
Well, yeah.
So I'm gonna go ahead and share the screen here. And
Okay.
guys, if you are watching now, please do use the live chat box and just let us know that you are watching. You do have to have your own YouTube channel in order to utilize the live chat. We'd love to hear from you guys, so please say hi so we can give you a shout out. So Nikki, are you ready?
I'm ready. Yes.
So you are in the hot seat now for Keeping It Real with Shay's version of Never Have I Ever. So we're gonna start, and as always, there. Never have I ever peed in my pants as an adult.
I think I peed my pants last week.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Wow.
I am supposed to see a pelvic floor specialist. So if you're a mom and you're watching, you probably understand why. But I go for runs about 3 times a week, and some days I just have absolutely no control and I pee myself on my runs. So yeah, it happens often and I really need to get it checked out. So this is my reminder.
Yeah. You know what though? That's not like that's accidental. I mean, it would be accidental.
Yeah.
But it's a mom thing.
It's a mom thing. Yeah.
Cough or laugh really hard.
Yeah.
Possibly tinkle a little bit, right?
Yeah, exactly.
All right, next. Never have I ever given a fake name.
Yeah, definitely I have.
You have to.
I've
so
used
Christina with Cecilia. What name did you use and why?
I had 2 fake IDs when I was younger. So one of them was Stephanie, and the other one, I honestly don't remember her name, but Stephanie was one of them that I remember for sure. That's the one that I would use going into clubs. I remember having to memorize everything. Mia's coming here. I think she's going to say hi. Okay. Okay, give me 1 second. But yeah, those were pretty much the main ones. You want chocolate milk? This is mom life. Oh, say hi to everybody.
Hi, Amy.
Say hi, Tita. Look. Say hi. Her hair's. She has all the freezies right now.
Keep it real here on the show.
Okay, go give that. Go great.
You did use a fake.
I have, yes.
Okay. So that's all right. That's all right to know. Never have I ever stood someone up on a date.
I'm gonna say never. I don't think I have.
No?
I would. I feel like I'm too nice to do that. I would probably just give an excuse and say that I'm sick or something. But I haven't ever done that. Yeah.
That's good because that's I mean, Christina said
I know.
So I don't think, I mean, I can see why you wouldn't or why you couldn't because you are too nice. You would just kind of go and just let it go, right? Just go with it.
Yeah.
Understandable. Never have I ever had a speeding ticket.
Oh, yes, I have. Just once. I remember I was going to the gym and I was just way too excited. And I think I was going maybe 20 over. I remember it was on Dixie. Yeah, I always try to forget about it, but it always comes back up.
It always comes back. So do you have only one? Sorry?
Just one. Yeah.
Well, that's good. That's good that you just have one. All right. Never have I ever used the men's washroom in a club or bar because the line for the ladies was too long.
I have.
I think a lot of us actually have done that.
Yeah. I feel like because especially when you're at a club and you're drunk, like you're intoxicated, nothing really matters. Like you don't care, so you'll do it anyways.
Yeah.
So
no, but that's
I've done it.
That is
Yeah.
true. That is true.
Yeah.
And Christina was saying that it's cleaner.
I totally think so.
Yeah, some are,
Yeah.
some aren't. But I would agree that yes, women like our washrooms are not as clean.
Mm-hmm. Hi. Good thing I'm sitting right beside the fridge. Go give it to Daddy. Yeah, she wants more chocolate milk.
Never have
Chocolate.
I ever danced on a bar.
I have.
You have on an actual bar?
Yeah.
Oh, no way.
Do you remember when I worked? Do you remember when I worked at Tilted Kilt?
Yes. Oh, yeah,
That's
they do that, right?
not really. I think I was just maybe I had too many drinks after work one day and I did it, but I think that's the only reason why, because I actually worked at the place and I felt more comfortable to do so. But if I didn't work there, I probably wouldn't have done it.
Oh my God, I would have loved to see that, honestly. Because I don't know. It's definitely something I'd love to try, but I would have to be clearly,
Intoxicated.
had a couple, yeah, and intoxicated to do such.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
Never have I ever dined and dashed.
Oh. I want to say I haven't, but I have a really good feeling that I have. I just don't remember, but I feel like I have.
You feel like you have? Okay, well,
Yeah.
that's fair. That's
Yeah,
fair.
I
You
remember
may
it.
have remembered it because it was probably like 3 in the morning or something.
Maybe I'm like, okay, just try to forget about it. Maybe my mind is just like blocking it out.
And that was actually the last question. So you
Oh,
survived
wow.
the never have I ever. Yeah, so I only do about 8 questions. Just because, I want to make them like harder, but I don't want to embarrass my guests too much. So, anyways, I want to first, of course, thank you for joining me today and wrapping up our Keeping It Real with Shades live chat on Fridays. I always usually have it on Fridays, and of course, wrapping up mental health awareness. Which is very, very important, especially now. I'm finding with COVID, so many people are having a hard time coping with stress or coping with, just everything, right? So,
Yeah.
And there's just, and I know that firsthand that it does affect a lot of people, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So today, I know you're going to help us or give us some tips on how to cope with stress, but not only that, on how to manage or control our own mental health, or at least be aware, right? So, I'm going to start with just, this is just going to be a discussion. What do you feel are common stressors that you have seen or even experienced yourself when it comes to day to day?
I feel like the main common ones, ever since the pandemic has started at least, would be losing control of certain aspects of your life. So whether that is not being able to go to work or not being able to see your family, your friends, having personal care services shut down, so not being able to take care of yourself with your hair or your nails, going out for food and socializing with other people or just meeting other people in general. And then losing jobs, losing loved ones. I feel like those are really common nowadays. And just the feeling of not having control in general, I think is the biggest thing, especially now that it's extended for, I think, another 2 or 3 weeks. 2 weeks, I think.
Another 2 weeks. So we're
Yeah.
going to be in lockdown until June 2nd, I think it
June
is.
2nd. Yeah. I feel like because, I don't know, when the pandemic first started, that was obviously really stressful for a lot of people. But the fact that it has gone up until this point and it's still happening is a different type of stress. So for some other people, it can be worse. And for some other people, it could, maybe they've gotten used to it. I mean, everyone is different, but yeah, I think the main thing is just not having control.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I totally agree.
Mm-hmm.
In your opinion, do you think diet can be a stressor, like what we eat?
Ooh, I'm going to answer this in 2 ways. So I think the word itself, like diet itself, I think can be a stressor. So with my nutritionist hat on, I really think that diet culture is still very, very strong these days. And with, I guess, some examples would be like the keto diet, paleo diet. I know some people still do like Weight Watchers. And a lot of people still, count their calories excessively. And I think that having something so restricting as a diet is just really, really stressful on your own mental health. And these things can, they can eventually lead to eating disorders or just a lot of self-esteem issues. So that's one part of the question, but also what we eat can definitely add on to our stress. So having a poor diet can, if you have anxiety, like it can trigger anxiety symptoms. It can make depression worse. It can also make ADHD worse. So those types of things as well. So lots of processed foods. If you're not drinking a lot of water, what else? If you have certain supplements that you're not taking consistently, that as well. So yeah, I think it can definitely be a stressor.
Yeah, you're right. Diet alone is like, oh God.
Yeah, and I feel like
Right?
nowadays too, people think that diet or like just eating in general are so complicated, but it's really not. It's like the more simple you make it, the better it is for you. Does that make sense? Yeah.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. It's just it's so tough to like to cope with weight loss and just, our image alone and just
Hmm.
everything, right? Like we want to make sure we feel good about ourselves, right?
Yeah, and
And
then
like you were saying, especially now with the pandemic, what more
mhm.
so, right? How are we supposed to be uplifted and like feel good if like this pandemic has drained us,
Yeah,
right?
and
So
I also think that while being in the fitness industry, we have a lot of people who have reached out to us because they've gained so much weight throughout the pandemic, right? Like there's if you're not really educated on healthy eating at home, like if you're so used to eating out all the time, with work and having such a busy life, then that's kind of bound to happen. So I know a lot of people are they're trying to get their health back on track with diet and with exercise. But the pandemic has definitely, there's like a COVID-15 definitely going around.
I don't know what it is, but anyways, like what can we do but just kind of control what we can, right? And that's just to
Mm-hmm.
take care of ourselves and our family, right?
For sure. Yeah.
So what are some questions we can ask ourselves when we're feeling stressed out to help with coping? Like I find that when, it's a stressful day at work or like, you know, just, you know, at home, like how can we kind of what can we ask ourselves to kind of prevent us from falling into that darkness of stress?
Give me 1 second. Mia just came over to ask me to open something for her. Here you go. There you go. So I guess I have a few in mind. The first thing I would say is to pause and just take a moment to reflect and think, how am I feeling in this moment? And sometimes I'll even like put my hand on my heart or both of my hands on my heart just to like really emphasize how my heart is feeling and how, like, what can I do to control anything right now? So that would be the next question, is what can I control right now? And typically the first thing that you can control is your breathing. So I know we're going to go over breathing probably later on in the segment, but breathing is always number one for me. So I just start by taking a few deep breaths. I feel like I had others as well, but definitely focusing on what you can control. So breathing, is there anything that can make me feel better in this moment? Is there anyone that I need to reach out to? Yeah.
You know what? Just touching on that I think, and I'm sure you'll agree with me, that when we're going through something and it just piles up, one trigger will affect everything. It's like
Oh my gosh,
it'll
yeah.
come crashing down, right?
Mhm.
So how do you cope with that?
I would say I used to be like that. I used to not really talk about my feelings, I guess, or whenever things would pile up, I would just, I don't know, I wouldn't vent. But I think that talking about it whenever you are stressed out is a really, really good thing for you. Just because if you do let it all pile up, then it is going to make it 100 times worse, and it's going to feel 100 times worse. So maybe having someone someone designated as like your personal vent person where you can just talk to them and let them know how you're feeling. I think that's a really good way to go about it.
A really good way, yeah. You know what? But sometimes it's hard for people to just talk to anybody, right?
Yeah,
If it's something that they're not used to, they pile everything up. It's hard. I used to be like that too. And then one trigger, you'll lash out.
Yeah, I find that other ways too could be journaling if you are a type of person that likes to write your emotions out.
Yeah.
Journaling is a good way, and also exercising is a really, really good way to release some stress.
You know what? I used to run, right? And
Mhm.
I can't really run yet, unfortunately,
Mhm.
because of my accident. So trying to cope with stress is journaling, praying, food,
Mhm.
and just trying, like you said, to think, is this something that I can control or not? And it's just decide, like, kind of separating the two, what you can.
Mhm.
And I'm that type of person that wishes she can control everything, but there are just some things in this world that we can't control, right? And
Yeah.
it's one of those things where it's a growing process, I think, and it's one of those self-awareness things, right?
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I can't wait to learn. I really need those breathing techniques after the day I had today, and of course, wrapping up the weekend. But yeah, I think questions like talking yourself through it is
Mhm.
good, right? And asking yourself, is this really worth it? Is it worth the
Mhm.
energy to stress about?
Yeah, that's another thing I would say is asking yourself in the moment, is this gonna matter to me a year from now? Is this gonna matter to me 5 years from now, 10 years from now? So having those questions, and also going back to what you said about having it all build up, I think the emphasis would just be to find ways to release whatever emotions are in your body. So like we said, whether it's journaling, exercising, praying, meditating, and one of my favorite ways is also crying. Like crying it all out, I always feel a lot lighter and a lot better afterwards.
Crying it all out. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think, it's also very stressful in relationships too, right? When there's one that's really stressed out, and then, it's hard to it's hard to
Sorry, you just cut out.
Oh, could you hear me?
Mm,
Could you hear me now?
it's like really low.
It's low. Okay, hold on.
Okay, now I
Can
could hear you.
you hear me?
I could a second ago.
Okay, can you hear me now? I think it's because my
Yeah.
mic is. Could you hear me now?
Yeah, that's good.
Better?
Yeah.
Okay. I think my mic was too low. I'm trying. So, guys, this is just a segue, but if you watched I had a previous vlog, I unboxed a Rode Wireless Go 2. So I'm using that now. I used it for the first time last Tuesday. So I'm trying different ways to put it on my shirt and see what works. So when I put it a certain way, I guess, Nikki, I was cutting out. But is it better now?
Yeah, it's better.
Awesome. Because I never know, right? I can't hear you. So yeah, so of course stressing out, guys, does cause like stress itself causes causes not harm, but it could cause harm in a relationship. So, I have to learn this too, is just giving space to each other and just allowing them to just kind of, allowing us to just kind of take a step back and just calm down, right? Do
If
you
I can
agree with
add to
that
that
too?
too. Yeah, I think what I would add is understanding, like both understanding each other's way of dealing with stress. So for example, one of you might be, you want to communicate how you feel, you want to talk it out with your partner, and the other partner might be like, I just need some space to think and reflect, and I'll come to you when I'm ready. I feel like that's it most of the time with people, but yeah, I think understanding how they cope with stress is really important in a relationship too.
Yeah, I'm and I'm guilty of that. I'm guilty of okay, I need to talk this out because like I can't um go through the day if I don't communicate how I feel. But oh, Fleur, hi Fleur. She said that's me and Mike. Yeah, I think we're all kind of in the same boat.
Yeah.
But I like to communicate my feelings. Like it's just something that I've learned to do, right? So I'm learning on how that sometimes that doesn't work. It's not effective if the opposing party can't or does not or is not used to that. They just want space, give them space, let them breathe, they'll come back, right? So
Yeah.
I need to learn that. So Fleur, maybe we should do some, coaching each other. I don't know which one you are, the one that needs space or the one that likes to communicate her feelings.
I'm the one who needs space, but
You're
there's
the
also
one. Okay.
There's also a relationship quiz or I think it's like affectionate quiz. I'm gonna send it to you, or I'll send it to our chat, but it's really good. Oh, I over
Fleur says she
communicate.
over communicates. Yeah, me too. I don't know when to stop. Oh my God. Okay, so yeah, so stress of course affects all relationships, not just the ones with your partner, but of course in your family, right? So let's all learn that when we need time or our partners need time or our family needs time, we give them time, right? And again, it's a learning process. Just be patient.
Yeah.
Just be
Yeah.
patient. Okay. So, okay. So how do you personally, and I know you probably touched a little bit on it earlier, but how do you personally handle stress?
I think it's going back to focus on what I can control. So the main way that I do that is having a set routine. So I have a set routine. How do I do this? Every Sunday or every Monday, I plan out my entire week. So that's absolutely everything. It's the days that I work out, the types of workouts that I do. So maybe it's some days I do strength, maybe some days I do running. I try to be as specific as possible. And then if I'm booking a workout, I think that holds me accountable even more. And then every single morning, I make sure to wake up at 6 a.m. And I use about an hour of my time to just have it to myself. That way I can kind of set my tone for the day. Every single morning when I wake up, I meditate, I listen to an audiobook, or I'll read a physical book. I drink lots of water, and then I try to do a workout if I have time before Mia gets up.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
You wake up early.
Yeah, I'm a morning person. I'm in bed by I would be in bed by now, by 8:30 to 9.
Well, thank you for not being in bed for this show.
Of
I
course.
greatly appreciate it. But yeah, no, I know that you do sleep early, which is, one thing I admire about you, only because, I even as much as I try to, I try to sleep early.
It doesn't happen. I know.
No, it's tough. It's tough to sleep early, right? But
Mhm.
I want to try that. I've been taking some time in the morning, 30 minutes, just kind of reading but I can't wait again to learn how to meditate. Remember, that's always my struggle. Like,
I
I can
know.
listen to so many things and that will help me meditate, but the moment my mind shifts and I start thinking of stuff, all the windows start popping up in my head, right? And
Mhm.
I really want to learn how to just fully meditate, as in my mind is clear. And
Yeah.
I've done social media detox every Sunday. The only Sunday that, of course, I was on was Mother's Day, so that was a treat to myself. But I've been doing it pretty consistent since I started, which I think is March or
Mhm.
April. So I think it's March. So I'm doing pretty good. And I love it, right? So
That's really good.
yeah, no, it does. And it helps. Like, I find that I'm more productive, and I find now that I can go through a whole day without checking Instagram. Like,
Oh, that's good.
unless I'm bored and I'm not doing anything, which is rare, or I'm waiting for something, then I'll scroll. But
Mhm.
no, I find that I'm happier without it,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? I'm happier without scrolling through social media, right? So,
Yeah.
any tips or techniques that we can use to manage and cope with our stress? So this is besides what you're going to teach us, but any other um, tips or techniques?
Yes, I think I'm gonna say focusing on eating whole foods, like we mentioned earlier, just because having a poor diet can trigger symptoms of, let's say, anxiety or depression, ADHD, PTSD, and then I would say limiting caffeine, which is probably really hard for people if you're going to be working from home and you have a coffee machine. I know some days, I think it was a couple months ago, there was the time change. I remember the week
Yes.
that the time changed, I was having 3 cups of coffee a day, and I try to only have one.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, I felt like I really, really needed it. I was so tired. I don't know what it was, but limiting your caffeine intake and increasing your water intake is very, very important. And then exercising is also really good. There's so many So many benefits of exercise for your mental health, for your stress, for your obviously for your physical health. And then another one I would say is getting into nature. So there's so many healing properties for getting into nature and really grounding yourself, getting, working on that relationship with Mother Earth. But getting into nature is really, really good for you too. It helps with stress a lot. You wouldn't even believe it. And then meditating. So I know that we're going to work on breathing later, but I know that you mentioned you struggle with meditating. And for some people can meditate for years and still not know how to meditate. They can meditate every single day and still not know how to meditate and still not, reap the full benefits. Some people it just doesn't work for them. So you said this earlier as well, finding what works for you. Maybe meditation doesn't work for you. Maybe it's more so exercise. And then maybe for exercise, maybe strength training doesn't work for you. Maybe running is more so your thing. So really finding on ways that work best with your body and your mind and your soul, and then really sticking to that and making it consistent.
That's the word. Consistency is the key.
Definitely. It really is. Yes.
Definitely. Yeah. Okay. So that's a good thing to do, and those tips are great. Like, be one with nature, because that's all we can do right now. So
exactly.
Make sure you're out at least even for 30 minutes every day. Just take a walk, and if you can in the morning, do it. Right? Like, do it. Shout out to Ramel. Ramel. Hello. Thank you so much for tuning in, Ramel from Winnipeg. He says, hello, ladies. Good evening to you both and happy weekend. Thank you so much, bro, for tuning in. It's been a while, so thank you so much. And of course, to our cousin Fleur, thank you so much for tuning in as well, Fleur. What are some ways we can hold ourselves accountable for our own mental health? So we're going to leave stress and management for a bit, but let's talk about what are some ways we can hold ourselves accountable.
I would say, I think I touched on this earlier. My favorite way is to plan out my whole week. So that is one way to hold myself accountable. So by booking in my workouts, or by being just as specific as possible to get certain things done that will benefit my health. So having those like non-negotiables, so exercise, hydration, eating whole foods, prepping those meals, those are some really good ways to hold yourself accountable. If you find that you really struggle to cook meals, then maybe getting a meal plan. That way you can have certain time each week to prep everything. Or if you don't have time to cook, period, then maybe looking into a meal planning service or a meal catering service that'll prep out your meals for the whole week. Some other ways I would say are whenever you find that you're going through maybe like a rough time or a rough patch in your life, letting your friends and your loved ones know. And then that way they can check in on you often. That way you know that you're not alone. Because I feel like a lot of people, they think that they're alone when it comes to dealing with mental health. And it's really not the case. I mean, we're all going through this pandemic, and we're all in it together. And then my last thing, sorry.
No, I was going to just say that's important. Or friends that you are down, and whether you need someone to talk to, that your friends and family are there for you, right?
Yeah, definitely. And then my last thing would be, I think I pretty much said this, like making sure that you have your whole foods, and also being consistent with your supplements. For supplements, I'm just going to say always take the ones that are recommended by your healthcare provider or your nutritionist. But making sure Yeah. Making sure that you're staying consistent. Yeah, Ramel, that it was just happening a little bit.
Is it? I think it's the paper. Like when I do this. Is it better
Maybe.
now?
Yeah.
It's the paper. Sorry, guys. It's my notes. Okay, so yeah, no, that these are, great tips for being accountable for our own mental health, right? For our viewers, our special guest that's going to help us is waiting in the wings. But for our viewers, what are common mental health disorders?
Ooh, I think Cree talked about this as well. So anxiety and depression are definitely at the top of the list. PTSD, I would say, is also really up there, and ADHD. And also eating disorders, which I think are still very prevalent as well. And I feel like with, if not all, but majority of these, you can definitely work on them with the help of nutrition or a nutritionist, and just finding natural ways like exercise, eating good foods. I know that some of them, obviously, depending on how severe it is, you might need medication, but I think that these are probably the most common ones with the pandemic, at least.
Ramel said eating considered disorder. Oh man. She meant eating disorders,
Eating
right?
disorders,
Like
yeah.
anorexia or bulimia. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, you know what, guys? It's time for us, time to show us breathing techniques and other physical activities that can help us cope with stress and control our mental health. So I want you guys to participate. I am going to bring on Christina back. Okay, she was our guest last Tuesday. So I'm going to bring her on. Hi, Christina.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Welcome. So I'm excited. Thank you so much for coming back on Keeping It Real with Shay. So we're going to do some breathing techniques and other physical activities that can help us cope with stress and control our mental health. So Nikki is going to focus on techniques that help adults, and then Christina will show what techniques can help our children, or our kids can cope with stress and, of course, mental health. So I am going to participate, okay, in this because today I really need it. So everybody watching, all of our viewers, okay, let's participate. So again, these are techniques that Christina and Nikki are going to go through with us. So whenever you girls are ready, go ahead.
Okay. Before we start, I am gonna recommend the meditation app that I use. Hi, Fleur. So the meditation app that I use is called InsightTimer. So it looks like this, and I think
Put that in the description below, guys. So
yes, I can type it for you. Yes, and it's free. There's guided meditations from 5 minutes, or well, really 1 minute to over 30 minutes. So and there's different ones here too. There's different, what is the word that I'm trying to say? So there's ones for learning to meditate. So that's for you, Ate. There's coping with anxiety, mindfulness at work, managing stress, improving your sleep, self-esteem, morning, self-love, mindful eating. So there's stuff for everything, and you can even search for meditations that are specific to how you're feeling that day or what you need in that moment. And there's even ones for parents. Pardon?
Free app.
It's a free app. Yeah.
Oh, I love
so
it.
there's free meditations to practice with your kids to help ease their nerves, boost self-confidence, and sleep better. So, which is really cool. I actually never even saw that until now. So yeah, that is a really good app if you wanted to start incorporating meditation into your life. I honestly don't really use the guided ones. I use the self timer where you can just pick how long you want to meditate for, and then you pick the sound that you want. And then it just rings the bell when you're done. So I think those are the two really cool options.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's get started.
Okay. So the first breathing technique I love is left nostril breathing. So you're going to take your left index finger, and I know people do this differently, and you're going to plug your right nostril, and you're going to inhale and exhale through your left nostril only. So we'll inhale for 1, 2, 3. Exhale for 3, 2, 1. Again, inhale for 1, 2, 3. Exhale 3, 2, 1. We'll do one more. Inhale 1, 2, 3. Exhale 3, 2, 1. And you can let go. So that one specifically, I feel like all of them do the same thing, but it activates your parasympathetic nervous system, which is your rest and digest system in your body. So it tells your body, or tells your brain, okay, you can relax, you can be calm, and that's probably one of the easiest ones to do, especially if you're driving. I always use that one for if you're driving and you have road rage. It's like the easiest one to do.
I think
Because
I should use that when I feel like I want to control the world.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
And then the second one that we can do is just focusing on having a longer exhale than your inhale. So we'll hold our breath, and you'll probably be doing this one too, I assume. Maybe. So we'll inhale for 4 seconds. We'll hold it for 7 seconds, and then we'll exhale for 8 seconds. So I think the challenge with this one is holding your breath in and trying to stay calm for 7 seconds, because your mind and your body is going to automatically think, what's happening? I'm going to freak out, because that's what we're programmed to do. So this is a really good one if you're trying to work on control and trying to stay calm. So I will lead us through it. You're going to inhale through the nose, and then you can exhale through the mouth. Okay? Okay. So we're going to inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How did that feel?
Amazing.
Very relaxed. I was a little tense.
Yeah, I think that one's harder just because you're really focusing on that control. But it can also be a good thing because you have that control in that moment. And if that's what you are struggling with, then that would be a really good one. Those are my two main ones, I would say.
Awesome. Okay, Christina, how about you? For kids, what are techniques that we can do for our kids? And to cope with stress.
Of course. So one of the biggest ones that I did at school about, I think it was last year, 2 years ago, I did a little project with a grade 2 class where we were aiming to eat during the recess time for 20 minutes, just quietly. Nobody's talking to each other. Everyone's just focused on their food, taking their time to chew and taste it. But at first, every week, we started with like 1 to 2 minutes, and then we started to add more time into it. And it was really interesting because the kids actually were craving for that time of peace and quiet and just eating. And prior to doing that, we transitioned by doing 2 deep breaths. And at the end, we also ended it with 2 deep breaths. But a lot of the feedback that I got from them was the fact that they got to finish their food. And that's one of the biggest things because, you know, during recess time, you want to chat with your friends. You want to just, you know, just have fun and not really worry about your food, even though when you come home, you're actually like hungry and ready to eat the whole fridge. So that's one of the tips that I would definitely recommend to a lot of the parents. No computer, no laptops, no cell phones on the table, and maybe even just have a timer. Okay, you know what? Everyone's really tempted to be on their phones. Let's put a timer for 5 minutes where we're just chewing our food and just maybe looking at each other, chewing and tasting our foods, and really just saying thank you to the food that we're eating. And from there, you can really open the discussion of like where the food is coming from and just educate each other, which is a great way to like, you know, just talk on the table. And so 2 breathing techniques that I'm going to do is the first one is going to be the 5-finger breathing techniques. So every time we're going to follow our hand. So every time our finger reaches up, we're inhaling. And when it goes down, we're exhaling. And we're going to do that throughout all of our 5 fingers. So, and this is the reason why I like to do this with students is because they get their sense of touch. They get their sense of reconnection with themselves, and they give the opportunity to really just focus on the main activity. So maybe if the kids are very handsy, very busy, at least they have an actual visual and something hands-on that they get to actually use. So we'll start with our left hand forward, and we'll start with our index starting at the really bottom. We'll take a breath in through our nose, breath out through our mouth. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Last inhale and exhale. So this is a very cool activity for them because they get to know exactly how many breaths they have to make, and they get to just pay attention to that one object that is in front of them. And the last one, I think it's a great way to also end our night. The way I ended the eating activity was by just sighing everything out of their system. And it's such a great way to just release whatever we have on our chest, all over our bodies. And it's I do this all the time. Even if I'm not feeling frustrated, it's just such a great release. So we'll do it twice. And no worries. Okay.
Sorry.
Okay, gotta love technology. So these 2 sighs, I really encourage you not to hold back. I really want you to just picture you're letting go of the whole week and starting fresh for the weekend. And just let go of anything that you've been holding on to, just even for today. All right, so take a deep breath in through your nose, fill up, open your mouth and sigh. All right, let's do that one more time. Inhale, even bring your shoulders up towards your ears, and sigh. All right.
Ooh, much needed.
Much needed after the day I had and the week I'm sure most of us have had. But guys, thank you so much. What a way to end the show. Thank you so much for tuning in, of course, to all of our viewers tonight, to our viewers in the future who are going to watch this after. I hope you guys got some tips and techniques and you're able to use it when you need to manage or cope with stress. And of course, I hope you got some information about how to control your mental health. I do apologize, of course, for the in and out audio that we were experiencing earlier. But again, I'm using this wireless Go, so the Rode Wireless Go 2 for the second time today. But yes, thank you so much, guys. Thank you, Nikki, of course, for joining me tonight as my guest and for wrapping up Mental Health Awareness Week here on Keeping It Real with Shay. And of course to Christina, thank you so much for being, for opening Mental Health Awareness Week on the show this past Tuesday. And of course, having you both on to wrap up this week. Definitely an honor, and I'm so proud of the both of you. Of course, those just tuning in, these are my two baby cousins. They're not babies anymore, but very proud of the both of you, and very happy and honored that you guys were able to be part of the show. And I hope this isn't the last we see of you. I hope we see you guys again. But yes, guys, so before signing off, I just want to remind all of you to make sure you tune in or watch for updates on Keeping It Real, which is season 2 coming up on June the 4th. I'm going to have prizes, of course, to celebrate and launch season 2. So, keep a lookout for that. Stay tuned. And of course, if you're not subscribed yet to Keeping It Real with Shay, now's the time to subscribe so you'll be up to date when that season 2 is launched. Don't forget to smash the thumbs up button, comment on any of my videos if you like this one, comment on this one, and of course click the bell upon subscribing so you'll be notified on all of the upcoming live shows and of course most recent uploads. If you guys want to follow Nikki or Christina, I will leave their social media platforms on the description box below. So make sure you guys pay attention to that because I will be putting that up after the show. Nikki, is there anything you want to say before we sign off?
Thank you for having me. I love coming on here as many times as I have. And if you do try out the meditation app, InsightTimer, comment below and let us know which one you did and how you liked it and if you will continue to do it.
Yes, and I will also leave that information in the description box as well. And Christina, is there anything else before we go that you would like to say?
Thank you for also having me again. I am really grateful to be part of this beautiful family and enjoy your weekend. Go outdoors, soak up that sun, and yeah.
Awesome. Okay, guys. Well, that's a wrap. Have a great weekend with your families. Enjoy being outside. And of course, stay blessed, stay safe, and don't forget to keep it real out there, guys. I will see you soon.